Kimberly. Welcome to Simply Living in a Small Town. I am back. I want to say thank you so much for those of you watching, whether you've been following along or you're new to watching my channel. I greatly appreciate it. But also, I want to thank everyone that has supported me while I've been grieving the loss of my son. Whether you commented or prayed for me, however you supported me, even just by watching my videos, I truly do appreciate that. It means a lot to me, y'all. So, I've been all over the place. And I do want to say, I apologize for the lighting. I should have done this video earlier, but there's kind of a reason why I did not. I can explain that a little bit later. But at any rate, the lighting is not really good at this point in this room because the light behind there is kind of, this over here shadow is from actually my camera and my tripod. So if you can try to ignore that. So I truly, since my son died on June 10th last month, I honestly have really not pretty much been crocheting. I really lost pretty much an entire month very quickly and easily without even realizing that the time had gone by so fast. I was working on a top. I remember a O Day Crochet top right before my son went into the hospital, and even I tried to work on it once when we were going up there or whatnot, and I honestly, like, my mind, I guess, because of what was going on, my mind was so overwhelmed with that I couldn't even remember what the heck I was doing. And that was yeah, I started doing something and I was like, this is not. And then I realized that on the top, so you have to have, let me show you here. So on this top, so I'm trying to show you in the light there. So if you see these little holes here, you're supposed to have 18 of these little holes going across, basically. So I realized I started to fumble with this at that point, and then I looked at it and I counted like the previous row of holes, and I went, oh wait, something's off. And I very quickly found it. Uh-oh, I just pulled that out. It's okay. I very quickly found the issue. And then I was like, oh, I'm not messing with that, because, so I had to rip out, like, I had to frog out like 4 or 5 rows, y'all. Now, I have gone back to working on this week. Now, it probably doesn't look like it because, again, I had to rip out like 4 or 5 rows. And so, but not, this is still, you know, I still have about, nonetheless, probably about half of this front panel done for this top, for this summer top. Now, I can't remember what this top was called, but I will link it in the description box. I will look and see. I think it was just like summer top or whatnot. And I remember the video that I got it from was, she had like 5 different summer tops in it. Again, this is from O Day Crochet. And I think this is super cute. It's going to be a really pretty little top. So I'm excited to get that done. But yes, I totally lost track. You know, I was like in shock and overwhelmed with what was happening at that point. So I kind of really, it was like I said, I was like, what am I doing? And then I looked back at the previous row and I went, oh no, that's not right. So obviously there was a problem. And it was just what it was. there was a stitch like on the end that I didn't, I saw right away what I did that I didn't do right. And I was like, oh, okay, that's no big deal. But I had to rip out 4 or 5 rows to get back to that. So there's that. The yarn that I'm using on that is the Big Twist Value yarn, and I do not remember the color. I do need to look that up because, and I know I have the label here because I save all the labels, but it's not in the bag with the project, so at the moment. So I need to locate that, and I'm still working on organizing my stuff here. As you saw, or if you've been watching, that is, or if you've already watched it, a previous video where I was organizing yarn into this antique cabinet. It's like a buffet with a glass hutch on top. I got a lot of it organized in there, but that's not all of it still. So y'all still have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 whip bags in here yet, like 3 big like bags, and then 1 smaller one. I think that's it. Yes, that should be it, because they're actually right here behind this, because the hutch is like right over here. So I'm trying to work through now getting through these other whip bags and whatever yarn I had put in them, if it's not with a project and it was just planned for something, but it's not, you know, doing anything, like I haven't done anything with it yet, I'm going to go ahead and put it in this cabinet for the time being. So sometimes, and I'm sure you've noticed this if you've been watching, I do easily have a tendency to get ahead of myself. That's just a thing. So I get so excited about, oh, you know, I see a tutorial or whatnot, and I think, oh wow, I literally want to do that. That's so cool. And whilst you know, I have the inspiration and want to do it, I may not have the time. The time is the hardest thing for me to account for. I do that all the time, that it's an issue. Like, I'll make a list. This is actually something I talked to my therapist about last year, because it's a thing with me. I do this every day. Like, I have in my calendar, tomorrow I'm gonna do this. The only problem with that is, like, I would not account for like how much time that the first thing would take, or the second thing, or the third, you know what I mean? I would just put these things, and I still do this. I still put them on everything on my calendar that I'm planning to do for that day. And let's say I have 4 things on there, and I may only get, 2 done. So I'm constantly rearranging my calendar, because no, I still don't specifically account for the time, although now I kind of take that more into account when I'm looking at, oh, I got to do this. So sometimes it's okay, like I end up moving one thing off that day then to the next day. So I'm consistently doing that, where then that thing gets done the next day, or those 2 things get done the following day. So, that's kind of how I manage my stuff. So, but anyway, going back to the crocheting. So I'm trying to think. There was something. Oh, I worked on, yeah, I showed you that. I was working on my daughter's cocoon cardigan, the granny square cocoon cardigan. And that was the only thing after my son passed away that I actually started working on. And then I digressed from that. Like, I'm struggling with depression due to all this. I mean, I think that, in other words, it's like a natural response to the situation. There's a lot more to that, which I will go into in another video. But anyway, so anyway, I've had trouble like getting myself to actively, it's like I have these sparks moments where you know, it's like, oh, like, that seems exciting, let's do that. And then it's like I lose that very quickly. I digress from that, and my depression kind of seems to take over, and it's like, no, I don't feel like it, you know. So I'm kind of pushing myself a little bit back towards it. The beginning of the week, I started crocheting again. So whilst I don't have a lot to show you in this Wednesday WIPS video, because I just have these two things. So the top, which is one. I have one other thing to show you. But, so I started back Monday, like consistently, in other words, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Consistently crocheting. Well, I was going to actually go ahead and do this video yesterday, which it would have been done early then. However, item I was working on, one of them, I finished. Like, I literally had already finished. So I started another one of the same thing because I was already going to make two of this. So I'm going to show you the one that I am working on that I just started today. Because I kind of worked ahead, if you will, you know, because I already completed one of these. So this is, sorry, I'm trying to clean up the yarn here so I can show this to you. Okay. This is the Bonbon Bucket Hat by O Day Crochet. So far, this is what I have. I'm trying to see if you can see. I think you might be able to see those front post stitches. So I have, this is the crown of the hat, which is done. So now I'm working on this row where you do single crochet in the back loop, you know, to kind of make that flip down. So this hat's for me. I've already completed one of these for my daughter. I think those colors look really pretty, y'all. Don't you think that's pretty? So this is just, oh, there went the rest of my yarn. So this is just Premier Home Cotton. Hang on just a second here. Okay. This is like, I will show you this real quick. This here, like this little bit, this is all one ball. So like the first hat took me like a ball and a half. And I made hers a little smaller because I tried it on. It was actually gonna be for me, and then I tried it on her and it fit her perfect, so I went ahead and stopped on that because I was gonna make her one anyway. So this one is gonna be a little bit longer probably. I'm assuming. I'm following the tutorial. So the first one that I already did, I didn't finish the tutorial because I put it on Ava's head and it fit like perfect. So I was like, well, then I'm just going to stop on this one. And then I'll just start the other one for myself. Since I had already planned to make us both one. So this is the Premier Home Cotton, and it is in the colorway America. The beautiful red, white, and blue, which I really love, the Americana colors. So I had actually planned to do, not specifically the Bonbon Bucket Hat. Haven't really gotten that far, but honestly, so like the week before last, I honestly, this is how like time just escaped me. Seriously, it was like the Thursday before last week. So like almost 2 weeks ago. That's hard to believe already too. But anyway, I was like, oh, you know, I wanted to make us Americana bucket hats for 4th of July. I was already planning to do that. Well, y'all, I could not get, I did have enough time once I, you know, because this was 2 weeks ago. In other words, like a week before, you know, the 4th of July. So I did have time, but then again, depression and whatnot. And I'm just trying, I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to hold myself together and just do the things that I need to do of a day and try to, you know, I'm having moments, very tough moments. So, it's just all been very heavy. So, like days were going by. But anyway, I realized on that Thursday, it was like a week before 4th of July. I was like, oh my. It dawned on me, you know, that it was 4th of July. Like, that's how time had escaped me. Like, the whole rest of the month in June, I had just lost because, and my daughter did too, because I said, 4th of July is literally next week, and I didn't realize that. And she said, oh wow, you know, like really. So we both had kind of lost that. But anyway, so I didn't end up getting these hats done for the 4th of July, which was fine. Honestly, our 4th of July was not like it would have normally been by any means at all, because there's actually a small amusement park that we normally go to on 4th of July. And they're only open like 4 or 5 times a year, like 4 or 5 times. And it's just a very small park that we normally go to. And it's basically it's just been a tradition for my family to do that. I went there as a child when I was little, and I always thought that place was, that the place was amazing and everything like that. And so, you know, when my son was little, his dad and I had started taking him there. So it became like a tradition every year that we would go there. And then they would have great big fireworks at the end of the night at dark. And it was just very special, and those memories are still extremely special to me. And you know, so when my daughter came along, we just continued that tradition. And you know, we would go as a, you know, as a family, and take my kids every year. So this year was very hard because, you know, it was the first holiday without my son, and so that was extremely hard. And we didn't go to the amusement park this year or anything like that. It was a very rainy day. Honestly, off and on all day. So the parades, the town that I live in, the small town that I live in, very small, they have a parade every year for 4th of July. They have like this list of events that they do every 4th of July, and it's always the same thing. So the parade is 10 o'clock in the morning, and we literally just, it's like right back, like behind where we live, so that's cool. But we actually drove and parked like over there, you know, in the corner behind us, because it was raining. Well, by the time we got over there and parked, it was literally starting to pour down rain. I mean, pour. So my daughter came back, got an umbrella really quick, and she comes back with the umbrella. And we walk out there and get up, you know, on the corner of the sidewalk. I basically left her on the sidewalk with our neighbors because it was literally pouring, but she had, you know, an umbrella. Well, I did stand out there with her, you know, a few minutes, but then I went and I, no, you're not, sir. I went and sat back down in the truck, and honestly, I just sat there. It poured down rain. She enjoyed it. The parade was extremely short this year. I mean, it really only, so it goes from the north end of town, the parade does, to the south end of town. We live on the south end of town, like right before you go out of town. And so it starts at the north end and comes to the south end. So that takes, you know, I don't know, probably, I don't know if that takes 15, 20 minutes or something by foot. The parade starts at 10. Now, I don't know if it started exactly on time or not. They didn't get down to us anyway till about 10:30. But what I'm saying is the parade only lasted like 20 minutes. Usually the parade is like about an hour. I mean, between 10 and 11 or whatever. Like, yeah, by 11 it's usually over. But it was like 10 till or something this year. In other words, the parade was very short. There was hardly anybody in it. Normally the high school marching band is in it. They weren't even in it. So it was very short. But that was good. She enjoyed it. But I sat in the truck and cried, y'all, because it was a very hard day, and it was dreary. And I hated to sit there and go through a holiday without, you know, it's like my family is incomplete now. So, you know, I just was very difficult to deal with. So, what was lovely, though, was a little later in the day, the sun came out, and the day turned out beautiful, and we went up by the school for the fireworks. The fireworks are like at 10 o'clock, and so we went up around 9 o'clock and got, you know, parked and that, and there's a lot of commotion and whatnot, because a lot of people, and then there was a lady next to us playing music. It was very loud. So it was a little overwhelming, like, for me, because I sort of have a hard time anymore with some of that, to some extent, especially when I feel like I'm not, like, kind of when I'm in a weaker state or not mentally prepared for that, you know. But anyway, it was great. The fireworks were wonderful. For a small town that really doesn't have much money or what, you know, it was great. So they had, the fireworks were about 30 minutes, but they really did really good with it on that. They did a great job. This cat, oh my gosh, get over here. So yeah, you see a tail there. he's like realized I'm doing a video in here, and he's like, I've got to see his little tail. It's Frosty. He's got to, oh goodness gracious, that's not what I was trying to do. Okay, get your little tuckus down. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, I still have this lingering cough. A second here. So anyway, I didn't, you know, have the hats done for the 4th of July, but nonetheless, I was like, hey, you know, they're great all year long. I mean, heck, they're literally Americana colors, like, yeah. So I still wanted to do them, and then I saw the bonbon bucket hat on the bag of Day Crochet, and I thought, well, that looks cute. And I'm gonna be honest, gosh, you got hair all over. Sorry, my cat, like, literally, he's shedding, and he got hair all over me. So the I had a hard time on Monday doing this. I'm thrilled about these hats. I honestly say that I don't think her picture does it justice, because these look super cute the way that she does it, the pattern. So on Monday I was struggling with this because I started the one on Monday. Now y'all, I literally haven't crocheted hardly anything for a month. So what I'm saying is that this has, like, the whole hat has all these front post double crochets in it. That, you know, that's all right, but I've been can't speak now. I have had a lot of trouble recently with my fingers being really stiff and sore, and my wrist, and like even my left wrist. It's weird, I've had more trouble with it It's not even my dominant hand, which is weird because my right wrist is garbage. Like, I already know it needs redone. They both need redone, but the right one has been like bad for years where, you know, I've needed it redone. But anyway, so I've been having trouble with my fingers and my wrists and that. But especially my fingers, even they feel like it now, they feel stiff. Ugh, cat hair. So, sorry y'all. So anyway, I started doing this and I was like, oh my word, like I jump back in and then I have to pick like a pattern with all these front post stitches, which has my wrist going, you know, like, you know, and oh yeah, I was kind of like, why did I pick this? It was rough. Let me just tell you, y'all, it was hurting. It was really hurting. I could tell it's been a minute since I've been doing this. And then I started working on this other one today. And so now, get this, like all this, sitting and doing that, my shoulder, all that's hurting really bad. So, it's kind of like Mama Kayla said recently. She was talking about people like not understanding that for her to crochet, it's harder for her now because she only has like 3 fingers. So, in other words, she was saying that she's using muscles now that she's not used to using, and it makes her sore. So that was kind of what I thought of earlier, because this is so, I mean, I can even feel it right up here in the top of my back, and I'm like, oh my word. So it's good that I'm done with that for tonight. I will probably get it finished tomorrow, if not Friday, or I may space it out to kind of give myself a little bit of a time between there. But that should be done. Well, it'll definitely be done by Friday, the Friday video, as long as I have more yarn, because I believe I do, but I've got to look, you know. So anyway, that's what I've gotten done. And well, that's WIPS, okay, that I'm currently working on. That's not what I've gotten done, because I've already got 2 other things to show y'all Friday. So we may have this up to 3 or 4 actually FOs come by Friday. We'll just have to see. But, you know, I'm trying to slowly work myself back into something, at least, you know, that I really love and enjoy and that feels good to me. That's really what I kind of need right now. So there's that. I will see y'all very soon, and that's probably like tomorrow, I would imagine. So we shall see. I'm trying to continue to, you know, push myself forward. This is something that's really important to me, and I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy y'all. I love y'all's comments. I love y'all, period. Like, y'all are so wonderful to me, and trust me, it really means the world to me. I truly appreciate that so much. So I will see you very soon. God bless now.